Good morning, everybody. In today's section, we are going to see what are the different IPM strategies which can be adopted for controlling the major pest being observed on paddy crop. Before adopting any of the control measures, it is very much important to know the economic threshold level, we call it as ETL also, of that particular pest been infecting on that particular crop. On that basis, we can decide whether to take the control measures or not. In this session, we are going to see what are the different ETLs to be observed before adopting the control measures. The first major pest is stem borer. If the infestation is nearly about 5 to 10% dead-hearted plants been observed, or one egg mask per meter square been observed, mostly in the panicle initiation stage itself, then you can try to adopt the control measures. In case of gall midge, mostly 5% of active tillering stages per meter square in the later planted susceptible varieties. If been found, mostly the management strategies can be adopted. Whereas in case of brown plant hopper, mostly 10 insects per hill on vegetative growth basis, or 20 insects per hill at later stages of the plant growth, if been observed, the control measures can be adopted. In case of green leaf hopper, mostly 2 insects per hill. In case of tungro endemic areas, whereas 20 to 30 insects per hill in other areas, if been observed, you can adopt management strategies. In case of leaf folder, 3 damaged leaves per hill, if been adapted in the tillering stages, mostly the measures can be taken. And the last one is in case of gundi bug, mostly if 10 individuals or adults been seen on the plant, mostly the management can be taken. Now we will look to the statute which can be used as an integrated pest management for paddy crop. The most important thing comes is the selection of a resistant variety. Before that, preparatory tillage operations such as some deep summer plowing, maintaining the optimum planting time is very much important. After that, synchronous planting nature should be adopted. Later on, continuous pest monitoring should be done on surveillance basis. Also, different cultural practices such as optimum spacing, using of optimum nitrogenous fertilizers, keeping the field clean and sanitized, using of alley ways of planting. The mid-season drying should also be adopted by regular irrigation facilities. Also, you should know or determine the economic threshold level so as to adopt different management strategies. Mostly try to prefer natural control measures, which we call it as bioagents or botanicals. Also, avoid mostly persistent insecticides which have a very longer residual effect. Also try to adopt new techniques such as installation of pheromone traps, either for monitoring or mass trapping. Also, botanical based insecticides such as neem based insecticides which are mostly eco-friendly can be adopted. So in this way, if you plan the IPM strategies, surely they will give a very positive result and will increase the yield of the crop and keep our nature unpolluted and pollution free. Now we will start with the most traditional way of controlling the pest, which has been prominently known as the cultural control measure. It is mostly an agronomical practice been followed by almost all the farmers for increasing their yield along with the productivity. Also, several practices have been followed from long duration but are not been taken in a correct form. Hence, adaptation of early planting is the most important practice being used for controlling several insect pests in rice also. The most important care to be taken is to avoid indiscriminate or judicious use of certain fertilizers, mostly nitrogenous fertilizers, which make the leaves green and help majority of the sucker pest to get attracted towards it. Leaving apart that, the most important care to be taken is of crop rotation. If you try to take the same crops, the life cycle of the pest will not be blocked, and hence proper crop rotation, seeing the attacking pest mode, should be followed. Mostly it helps for rice stungro disease, whereas there is another way known as early ways, mostly using of 30 centimeter width area after every 2 to 3 meters is been advised, just to keep away the major sucking pests such as brown plant hopper or leaf hopper from the field. The most important preparatory tillage operation is deep plowing and removing the stubbles so that the hidden pupal or hibernating stage may be destroyed. Also, keeping the field clean is very much important for controlling the pests such as different stem borers and gall midge. The another most important thing is frequently water the field, but the care should be taken that there should not be waterlogging for a very long time, which may help to tackle several pests such as caseworm, termites, plant hoppers. Whereas there should be regular draining of the field if there is excess water been there, so that we may keep away the pest from that particular plot. Also, if there is an infestation of termites, the most important control measure is flooding of the field. If the paddy crop is been taken on irrigation basis itself in a dry track, mostly we have to field with the flood so that that pest may be suffocated in the field itself and destroyed. Hence, by taking such control measures, we can also control majority of the pest by traditional. One of the most preferred technique at present is known as HPR. What is HPR then? It has been known as host plant resistance. Exactly what does it mean? It means that utilizing some of the genes, incorporating it into the plant so that that particular genes may help that particular plant to resist or keep away a particular pest from the field. Hence, this particular method is been preferred a lot, under which there are different varieties being developed which are giving a very good resisting effect on different plants for different pests also. So we will see few varieties which are been popularly been preferred on the basis of the pest, and along with that there are certain donor genes also been seen in the table, which from whom these varieties are been prepared, of which the first major pest we will look is known as Golmich. In that Sneha, Kavya, Karna, Ruchi, Asha, Usha, Daya, Pratap, Udaya, Shaktiman, Tara, Neelam, and few others are been commonly preferred for keeping this particular pest away. Leaving apart that, in case of brown plant hopper, Chaitanya, Pratibha, Vajram, Co 42, Ka, Aruna are certain varieties which are been popularly been preferred. In case of white backed plant hopper, mostly HKR series of 120 is been preferred for controlling, whereas in case of green leaf hopper, varieties such as Kaira, Nidhi, Vikramaraya are being preferred for controlling the pest. In case of stem borer, mostly the donor gene is TKM6, from whom the varieties such as Ratna, Vikas were being developed and are showing very good results. This method has to be preferred because it is a totally eco-friendly measure and giving a very good assured result, not only on the basis of the yield but also on the basis of the productivity also. Now we are going to talk about the most important measure known as biological control, for in which we can use different natural enemies for controlling the major pest being found in our field. If we see on the basis of the pest basis, mostly in case of stem borer, different egg parasitoids such as Telemonas species. Leaving apart that, the most important parasitoid known as Trichogamma species. Different species of Trichogamma such as Chilonesis, Japonicum can be used for controlling the major pest incidents known as stem borer. Whereas egg or larval parasitoid such as Platygaster oryzae is been mostly preferred for controlling the major pest known as Paddy Golmich, or we call it as gallfly also. Leaving apart that, different parasitoids, mostly the egg parasitoid known as Oligoceta species. Another one is Anagrus species. Both of them are the egg parasitoids. Leaving apart that, egg or nymphal parasitoids such as Gonatopus species is been preferred for controlling plant hoppers. Leaving apart that, different predators such as Cryptorhinus lividipennis, mostly which predates on all the stages of egg, nymph and adult of plant hoppers, is also been preferred. In case of leaf folder, different parasitoids such as Trichogamma species, Macrocentrus species, Brachymeria species can be preferred, which are the egg larva or the pupal parasitoids. Also, predators such as Ophinia nigrofasciatia can be preferred, which is mostly predating on the larval and adult stages. These particular parasitoids can be released on the dependence of their severity at the rate of near about 50,000 to 1 lakh adults in an installment of about 3 to 5 times at an interval of 15 days. Mostly, this installment is being based on the natural enemies itself. Living apart that, non-insect predators such as, in case of spiders, different types of spiders such as Paradoxa, Pseudoannulata, or we may call it as Oxypes xavanus, are the two species of spiders which are predaceous on major pests of paddy. Living apart that, coccinellids such as Harmonia octamaculata is the major species which has been predaceous. Living apart that, aquatic predators such as Limnogonus fossarium is a most important predator which mostly lives in the water and is been predaceous on the egg and mostly the nymphal or initial larval stage. All these bioagents have been preferred or been very much been important because they are totally eco-friendly in nature. After adopting of all these measures, still if the pests are not coming under control, then only try to adopt this type of measure which has been known as chemical control, because it is a polluting, non-eco-friendly measure which keeps lots of residues on the plant, which at present are been causing not only the threat to the ecosystem but are causing or may cause a severe threat to the humans also, because there are several residues being seen in the grains or in the produces of agriculture which are harmful to the consumers. Hence, this method should be used only in reduced form if the above methods are not giving good results. If you classify this particular group, it can be broadly classified into two. The first one is granule formulations, which can be used because they are little bit lesser in the residue effect, whereas the other one is known as EC formulation, which we call it as a spray formulation also. The first one which we are going to see is there are several granule formulated insecticides which are being recommended, but the most preferred one is carbofuran CB750, which is giving good result on almost all the major pests. The most effective one is carbosulfan CB1000, which is giving a very good result on almost all the major pests. Living apart that, one of a newer granule known as Isazopos 600 OP is also giving a very good result on majority of the insects. Also, a new compound known as fipronil is also giving us very good satisfactory result on majority of the pest in granule formulations. The last group of chemicals known as EC or spray formulation insecticides. In that, there are several insecticides which are being used on regular basis by the farmers, which should be reduced. Yes, it is giving quick result, but the results being given are causing a residue effect also. Previously, the most preferred of the insecticide by the farmers was monocrotophos. Mostly it gave good results also, but at present, as majority of the molecules have been registered to the major pest that and showing a very big residual effect, mostly that particular pest being insecticide being banned. Living apart that, if you want to prefer the chemicals, mostly try to adopt phosphomidon, which is giving a good result on majority of the pest. Carbaryl is also giving a good result on majority of the pest. Carpet and 300 is also having a satisfactory result on majority of the pest. Another one is fipronil in the EC form is also giving a moderate result on majority of the pest. And at present the most important two chemicals known as imidacloprid, thiamethosem, is giving a very good result on majority of the pest being located on the paddy crop. So this is all regarding the different cumulative IPM strategies to be adopted, so to balance the control of the pest also. And if we adopt these measures, it will not only balance the ecosystem but will also increase the productivity and will also reduce the expenses or cost being put on the costly insecticides, and will help to keep our soil free from the chemicals. Good day.